Welcome to Tampa Home Talk with your host, native Tampa real estate girl, Katrina Madewell, a full-time, passionate, out-of-the-box thinker, love for home ownership kind of realtor with over 21 years of combined mortgage and real estate experience. Tune in every week at this time for expert advice on everything you need to know about home ownership, finance, maintaining great credit, building wealth, and making your everyday life better, and how you can be financially successful today and tomorrow. Remember, love where you live or let Katrina fix it. Now, here's your host of Tampa Home Talk, Katrina Madewell.
Welcome. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks so much for joining me today. If it's your first time ever catching us here for Tampa Home Talk, the mission of our show is to help you keep and maintain great credit, live within your means, and build wealth. My team and I are passionate about those topics. We also love to talk about anything in and around the real estate space and things to make your everyday life better. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce our guest for today's show. Super neat concept. Can't wait to talk about it. And I know you're going to get a kick out of the show today. So without further ado, let me introduce Mr. Doug Shadler. Welcome to the show.
Great to be here.
Thank you for having me, or thank you for having me having you. Thank you. Right. Yeah, that.
Glad to be here.
Every once in a while, I just get a little tongue-tied. But I'm really excited about your app and your process. So tell me about your place. So you're the co-founder and CEO of a company called Homee?
Correct. Yes. It was my co-founder, Dave Theus, is the chief technical officer. I'm the CEO, and we developed...
You always got to have those chief technical officers.
Very important. So we developed the app about 18 months ago, and it really has just taken off, especially in the Tampa Bay area. This is our home market. It's where we're based. And it's a super product, great convenience factor for homeowners to get on-demand service professionals that have been vetted by our team within 30 minutes to their door.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because there's so much buzz, right? Like a lot of these companies, you've heard a lot about them, like Angie's List, the Home Advisor, like all of them. So tell me about Homee. Like, what makes Homee different? Because it's interesting. I think you said some stuff we probably want to dive into a little deeper.
Sure. So it's important. So we are we're a licensed general contractor in the state of Florida.
Okay.
So what that enables us to do is really qualify all of our jobs, and we are not just referring a homeowner need for a plumber to a plumbing firm. We actually are in charge of the delivery. So that's an important difference. That's why we have very good quality control over our providers, and we make sure only the best are in our network and only the best are going to your door to do work.
And that's an excellent point, because some of these other sites that I mentioned on real quick that I'm not going to re-mention for that same reason are simply a pay-to-play.
Exactly. So the way most operate, and the reason we got excited about this space, is there's a lot of fragmentation on the provider side. So for example, in Tampa, there are about 3,000 plumbers, 1,000 electricians, and 4,000 HVAC techs. Very difficult for those firms to market themselves and find work. What we do is when they get a note, when they get on our network and they're background checked and vetted by our team, once they get a notification from Homee, it's for a job. It is not for a lead. So that's a big difference.
So someone's ready to hire them.
Exactly. They're not. That's a very important differentiation versus us, versus Home Advisor, Angie's List, Thumbtack. Those companies are paying for leads, and then 4 or 5 of them will call the homeowner and ask what the issue is. So just from a process standpoint, it's not as efficient as ours, where you open the app, request a plumber, request a handyman, and within 30 minutes on average, someone is at your front door.
So this is like Uber for your home, right? Is
exactly.
that the analogy?
And that was, and Dave and I, in truth, are big fans of Uber. We've used it a lot professionally and personally, and we really structured this around being able to have that on-demand feature with a skilled tradesman. So it's different than an automobile,
right?
Which is a simpler process going from here to the airport.
Well, it's interesting, Doug, because the times have changed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people just do things differently, myself included, right? Because I travel a lot. I was just in San Diego a week ago, and I used to rent a car when I would travel, and now I don't. I just use Uber wherever I go, and it's just easier.
Correct. And what we built the app to be is the user interface is very clean, very easy to use. Even we've had many people over the age of 80 who may have just gotten their first smartphone use it successfully and have someone come to the door rapidly. So we built the interface to be very clean to use, and we always say once someone uses this product once, they're never going to use anything else again. It's
really important to have a clean interface too, because it can be clunky and then it's a turnoff, I think, for people.
We don't have a lot of drop downs. We like to make sure that the right professionals matched up with the right job. And it's very easy for the homeowner to use and get someone dispatched on demand to their house.
So you talked about, the process to vet somebody before they can actually be approved to even be on your list and just show up at someone's home, because that's a big difference, right? And I think that's a distinction with Uber as well, as they have actually background checked and pre-screened these people. They've got requirements they have to meet. There's certain specifications.
Sure.
That are required. And I think that part's important too. And then in my second question, after you answer that one, is, is it like the Uber app where you can get an estimate on what the cost is going to be when they get there?
Sure. So the onboarding process for us, we meet every one of our providers in person. So even though our system is very automated and everything is electronic down to the billing, that we always want to meet the great service technicians we have on the network in person. That's important.
Yes.
We want to verify licenses with the state as well. As a licensed general contractor, we want to know who we're working with and what the qualifications are of those techs, not just the owners of the firms. Mm-hmm. And then once they pass through those checks, then we background check them with a multi-state background process. So that anywhere...
Now, is experience a factor as well? Are you looking at people and their experience and the number of jobs and hours they've had on?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. So we get, normally at this point, we'll get references, or they will show us pictures of past work of that actual tech, not just the owner of the firm. So we want to make sure the person coming into your home has done great work before, and when possible, we'll check references on them as well to make sure when they're on the network on that first job, which is when the rubber hits the road for us, that they're going to do a great job. And we at the end,
they're in a probationary period or anything with you guys?
We once they're on the network and they pass the background check, we have a ranking system similar to what Uber has at the end of their process. It's a star ranking. So anywhere from 1 to 5 stars, the consumer ranks the provider. And if there is a 4-star or anything below, we get a notification, a big alarm bell rings in our office. I'm sort of joking about that.
All right.
We are notified and we follow up with the provider and the consumer.
Well, it's interesting, 4-star or below, because there's some people that just will not rate 5 stars no matter what.
Our average ranking is, I believe, 4.95 stars. So we are, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we're doing a great job in terms of vetting these professionals. We have removed some from the network for sometimes if they're not picking up a job, if they get 10 notices and for whatever reason they are not picking up that job, they are not active in the network, so we can suspend them for a period of time, because that just slows down the search process for the homeowner. We want to make sure when they press, I need a plumber.
If their AC is out or their plumbing is backed up.
So, the statistics for us are really fantastic in terms of when someone goes into the app and you download it from the App Store. So from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store, it's free to download.
Now, is it similar in terms of setup? Like you're going to be putting in your credit card information and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, exactly. So you put in, everything is done electronically. And all of the pricing in advance down to the minute. So this is an important feature of the app where there's no, I've lived in Tampa for about 10 years now, and I probably had 30 service calls to my home prior to developing this. And when someone would come to the door, I would never know if I was going to get charged $50 or $5,000. And with our app, we have a timer, so everything is timed down to the minute.
Just like Uber, when they pick you up, when they're there.
So it's very transparent to the homeowner, and they know not only that we vetted those professionals, but they know it's going to be X cents and dollars per minute that provider is in the home.
Yeah.
And importantly, we also, because everything is GPS or location driven, when the provider goes off-site. So if they go off-site more than 50 meters from that home, the timer automatically stops. So really, it's only paid for time done work in the house.
So it's based on time, not on the job?
That's correct. So there's you don't come in, the service professionals don't come in and say, this is going to be $100 to change out this light fixture. They say, I estimate this is going to take 2 hours, you know my rate, and they sort of do that math right there on the spot.
It's pretty interesting. I really like it, and I think it's going to be a longer conversation that's going to run us into the second segment. But when we come back, I would like to talk all about the interface and what that looks like, and maybe during the break, I'm even going to download it on my phone, and we'll put the app on there. We'll see what that looks like, then we'll request a test service person,
Perfect.
So we can see what that looks like. And I'm going to walk you guys through the interface app when we come back here in just a minute. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. We are so excited to have Doug Shadler here with Homee. We'll be back in just a minute.
Traffic in the Tampa Bay area is among the worst in the nation, with the average commute about an hour a day. If anything goes wrong, you can double it. Do your part to help by being a Money Talk traffic ranger. Call us if you see traffic problems at 888-404-1010. Listen to traffic on Money Talk at 1010 a.m. or on FM at 103.1 and 92.1. Call the Money Talk traffic ranger line, 888-404-1010. Tampa Bay's best traffic at 1010 a.m. or on FM at 103.1. Call us, 888-404-1010.
Hi, this is Aaron Davis, owner of Hillsborough Title. Hillsborough Title is a local, family-owned title agency here in Tampa Bay. Our service, strength, and knowledge make us different. We've served Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. From Polk County to the Gulf, Pasco to Manatee, Tampa Bay, we've got you covered. Call us at 813-712-8888, 712-8888, or visit us on the web at thebesttitle.com, thebesttitle.com. That's thebesttitle.com.
I'm Katrina Madewell with Keller Williams Realty and Tampa Home Talk, and for more than 23 years, we have been helping homeowners sell. Flexible terms with the rate to sell it yourself. Let my results speak.
They were able to get us a full price offer and a contract in our house in 9 days.
I just wanted to express my gratitude in finding a cash buyer for my property in less than 24 hours.
I'm not bragging. I'm applying for a job. I want to be your realtor. Call 813-777-1196. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Money Talk. 1010 on the AM dial, 103.1 on the FM dial, and 99.5 FM HD2. HD radio is an additional way to listen on the FM dial. Check your owner's manual. You may have an HD capable radio and not even know it. Hear Money Talk on 1010 AM, 103.1 FM, and 99.5 FM HD2. Check out your owner's manual. It's not satellite radio, it's HD radio. If you got it, try us at 99.5 HD2.
Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. I'm sure you're sticking with us through the break after the beginning part of the segment, because I promised that we're going to go through the app and what this looks like. And if you're just joining us, I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. And in studio today, we have Doug Shadler, and he is the co-founder and CEO of Homee. They were dipping on me a little bit before and after the break with the way I said Homee, but I just thought it was cool.
It's good. It's getting better.
So it's an Uber app, sort of like interface, where you can request service providers. So I'm looking at the app, and by the way, if you've ever been in a radio station, the signal is horrible in a radio station.
And it's still working, I'd like to point out.
Yeah, it was interesting. One of the first things I saw, and while this is still ticking around, I'm sure you know it firsthand, but it has a thing on the bottom. Type the address where you require a service, right?
Yeah, so we have a variety of users. So we have obviously homeowners who would use it. We also have a lot of small investors who may own a fourplex or a vacation home who aren't on site. And what that feature enables them to do is to order a service remotely. So we're here in St. Pete right now. If you had a rental home on the beach in Clearwater, you could simply put in the address. The icon would move to that location, and you could remotely order to your investment home.
Yes.
For a tenant that may be there or a vacationer who's renting, and you could have service delivered right to them. You could be in Minnesota as a snowbird, service your home in Tampa very easily without having to call 4 different plumbers and say, can you go out here at this given time?
Yes, that makes sense. So it actually has an option. It says select a service. So it's very clean interface. And when you open it up, it gives you the option to choose between electrical, HVAC, plumbing, and handyman. Is that the complete list at this time?
That is correct. Yeah. So handyman was actually the last service we offered, and it is our most popular. We've got probably 60% of our work is handyman. It's apparently very difficult to find a good one.
Yes,
and
it is.
We've got some great ones online, both in Tampa and our other markets.
And we have one of your people, ironically,
one of the best
that we invited as a guest on the show, and he's actually on your network.
Yes.
Right?
I am aware. He does fantastic work.
So Handy Andy, welcome back to the show. You've been here with us before.
Yep. Thanks for having me back.
So let's talk about handyman. Since we got Andy in the studio and we're looking at the drop down, so literally we would choose handyman.
Yes.
And so I'm looking at this and it's doing the little raindrop, electrical, lightning bolt, handyman service. Pretty cool. So it's looking for providers, right? Like Uber would be looking for drivers.
It is. This is a signal. Normally this would already have populated with how far away the closest technician is from our
So you got to have internet to work the app.
You got to have a working signal. Apparently, don't ever order from deep in
inside of a radio station. Yeah.
But what we'll see here is it will determine the closest provider to us. Let's try handyman, and it will tell you that person is a mile away, 5 miles away, because we have a very dense network. The average time or the average mileage, I should say, is usually under 10 miles away. So 30 minutes, it's actually about 28 minutes is our average time from when you would place this order to when someone would be here at the studio. It's very rapid.
So I presume somebody like Andy, if he's already on a job, your app you're not going to have your interface open to accept a job because you're currently on a job unless you're at the end of that job. Is that right?
Yeah, that'd be correct.
Okay. Because it's interesting, like, some of these people, man, they're hustlers. I mean that in a good way. Like when I was in San Diego, one of the drivers, he drove a little bit fast, which was all right by me, but he literally was like picking up his next job when he was dropping me off, and I thought that's pretty awesome.
So what we have on Andy's side of the equation is they can go on or offline. So we just saw that live map there of all the icons in Tampa Bay, and we've got about 385 background check verified providers in those 4 trades. So it's a very dense network. But throughout the day, they're coming on and offline depending on if they're on a job or not, or on their own job. So Andy will have other jobs outside of Homee that he may be on, and we'll fill in gaps in his schedule and time to enable him to have work hopefully throughout the day.
So we got it open, and I'm the user, and I'm looking at the app, and it says the closest Homee provider to the job located at, and it's given us the radio station address because that's where we are, is 9.3 miles. And then I can either cancel request or view rates. So let's check on view rates. And I'm looking at this, and then basically it's saying there's a dispatch charge of 18.
Yep.
And then the rate is 55 cents a minute. Is that right? Am I looking at something wrong?
We have it down to the minute. So this is an important, again, from a transparency for the homeowner. Sometimes we saw firms will come in and charge for the hour, and it's just for a block of time. We found, just to be transparent to the homeowner, we like to have it down to the minute. And we found that's been a big hit with homeowners.
Well, that makes sense, and it's efficient. Like, you can gauge how efficient someone is.
Exactly, and the dispatch fee is there for that reason, because a lot of times we've had jobs on a Sunday night for a property manager, for example, who's dispatching to a tenant, and it's a plumbing job, and one of our professionals will just go in and literally lift the chain off the back of the toilet and leave in 7 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
So the important thing is,
so they need a dispatch charge. That makes sense,
right? So because in that case, that professional would have only earned $5 or $10 depending on their rate.
And that's not fair on a Sunday night.
With the dispatch fee, though, they are then, for a very brief period of time, they'll make $40, $50.
Now, does the dispatch fee change based on when they're requesting the service?
So we have currently in the Tampa Bay area, we have pricing is the same weekends, nights, or during the day. we have the ability in the future to, based on supply and demand, move those rates up or down.
Nice.
So, but for now, as we're, we're about really just getting as many people to use the application. Because, like I said, once someone uses it once, they'll never use anything else again.
Right. Well, I mentioned that because, you brought someone in the studio with you for some social proof, right? I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And it's interesting, but she was sharing with her, her story and, her version of it before the show. And we were talking about how on Easter, your AC went out. Is that right? So this is Elizabeth. Welcome, Elizabeth. Just share your little story with Homee because you ordered a service provider through the app, right?
Yes. So I woke up Easter morning. We had no air conditioning, and it was going to be 85 degrees that day. And we were actually leaving for the day, but we have a dog that was going to be home, and we felt guilty leaving her at home in a hot house. So we called Homee, and we felt really bad because it was Easter Sunday, and we didn't want to, have to use somebody. But there were a bunch of people on the network available, so we pulled them up on the app. And within an hour from the time we opened up the app, they were done and out, and it was affordable, and it was a holiday morning, and it was awesome.
So you're saying Homee is now saving dogs?
Homee now saves dogs. Our sweet Chloe.
So what was actually wrong with your HVAC? What was the issue? Do you know?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person. If my husband was here, he could tell you.
The dog might know, too.
The dog might know. Yes, I'm not sure, honestly, but, we had it.
Whatever it was, they fixed it in an hour, right? Is that what you're saying?
They fixed it in less than an hour. It was an hour between the time we connected with them over the app and between the time and they left. It was an hour in that total time period of the morning, and we were able to still get ready and go off to what we had planned for the day, and our dog was happy.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing, and I think this is it's a super important part to mention, Doug, and it's really about efficiency, because when you think about it, like even myself, right, as a real estate professional, to think about it in this aspect, it's a whole lot easier to just go show a property in your neighborhood than it is to drive 30 minutes away across town, and that's really the old way of doing things.
Yes. Yeah, and I should say, too, for real estate professionals, this app is fantastic for them because we've actually got with the Pinellas Realty Association now, we're in partnership with another company called Savvy Card to really have all of the realtors, both the new ones coming into the Pinellas Realty Association as well as existing ones, download Homee. The reason for that is we've been told many, many times from realtors when they sell a home, that call they hate to get is from the new homeowner, which is, do you know a good plumber, electrician, HVAC? It takes time for the realtor to do that.
Yep.
Now with Homee, what we've enabled is if you go back to the screen when we started here in the app, we have a marketing feature for realtors where they can refer Homee to the new homeowner. Homee will give that new homeowner a $20 credit on their first use, and we also have this marketing feature for the realtors, so their face and the name of the realty is in what we call splash screen right before the map comes up. So it's really free marketing for the realtor, stay front and center in front of the new homeowner, and that homeowner gets a $20 credit on their first use from Homee. So realtors really love this application. I think we had about 6 realtors place jobs yesterday just through the product.
And that actually leads me to another question that's like burning, but I'm sure you hear the music beds coming in, so we are going to have to take a quick break. And when we come back after that break, I'm going to ask that question. It's a very relevant one. We'll be back in just a minute.
Well, your traffic is next on Money Talk 1010. Good morning. This is Pat George. When someone else's negligence has caused personal injury to you, the experience of a trial attorney you pick really counts. Here's one. Pop and Guype, a personal injury law firm. And to find them, 727-461-HELP, 727-461-4357, or go ahead and log on to popandguype.com. I-4 eastbound at Mango Road. That's exit 10. Drive with caution. Fire department on the scene from an accident reported there. Also in Tampa, Northwest Shore Boulevard near Boy Scout, a crash. And still working the one in Largo on Almerton Road just east of Starkey. Cleanup, though, in progress on that one. Howard Franklin continues to be accident-free. This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell breakfast crunch wraps are loaded with eggs, bacon, melted cheddar cheese, and a full hash brown. So, if you've had a morning before your morning, let Taco Bell make your breakfast. 82 already in Tampa, 79 in Clearwater, 83 in Bradenton.
Listen. All over Pinellas County, you need to hear this right now, okay? Because you know it is on the phone, and you know it's month of May, and you know that things are going to be happening at the all-new Fusillo Nissan. So just listen. Guess what this is?
Say it, baby.
It's huge. When I start ripping up contracts, it's huge. When those contracts get ripped up. And when I rip that contract, what's it mean, Gloria?
It's gratis. Yeah, free. You get a free car. Your car is
regardless
free.
of what language you speak.
You don't
gratis
pay anything.
or free, you don't pay,
awesome.
right, Gloria?
That is awesome. I can't believe it.
I get excited, Gloria. I get excited. Oh, my God. I love doing this, Gloria. Almost as much as I wouldn't go that far, Gloria.
Oh, my
but
God.
I love it,
Oh, my
Gloria.
God.
I love it. It's all about being huge.
Thanks for joining us on Money Talk at 1010 AM, 103.1 FM, and 99.5 FM HD2. This is station manager Charlie Oakes. If you have any suggestions or would like to do your own show, give me a call on my private line, 727-563-8831. Your suggestions have brought more local programming and the new FM signal. If you have an idea for a local show and would like to be part of Money Talk, call me. Money Talk is a family, and you have a vote in what the family does. Thanks for listening. 1010 AM, 103.1 FM, and 99.5 FM HD2.
If you have a damaged windshield, keep your family safe with a premium quality replacement and a lifetime warranty from Auto Glass America. If you have comprehensive insurance, we'll buy back your old windshield for up to $100 cash on the spot. Come to you with free mobile service and install a new premium quality windshield, all at no cost to you. Be safe. Call today for fast claims processing. Remember, we turn your broken glass into cold hard cash. 813-96-GLASS. That's 813-96-GLASS.
Auto Glass America.
Listen up, Tampa. This is national best-selling author Chris Hogan, and I'm excited to announce that the Smart Money Tour featuring youth and money expert Anthony O'Neill and I are headed your way on September 19th. At this evening event, we will walk you through the plan that has helped millions get out of debt and retire with dignity. A plan that focuses your money on what matters most. It's time to live more and worry less. Visit DaveRamsey.com. That's DaveRamsey.com, or call 888-22-PEACE to reserve your Smart Money seats today.
It's All-American Celebration Month at Lakeland Harley-Davidson. Save thousands on remaining 2016 models. 000 is here. Make zero payments till fall. Pay zero interest and put zero money down on your new Harley-Davidson. Join us every weekend in May for free food and entertainment. Shop the lowest interest rates and the largest inventory in the Tampa Bay area. Check out LakelandHD.com for a full calendar of events. Lakeland Harley-Davidson. Exit 33 off I-4 or LakelandHarley.com. Financing available for Tier 1 well-qualified buyers with approved credit. Dealer retains all factory rebates and incentives. Touring CVO truck models only. See dealer for complete details. Offers expire May 31st.
Welcome back. This is Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. And if you haven't already been catching the show today, it's been a very, very exciting one. We are here with Doug Shadler, and he's the co-founder and CEO of Homee.
Hey there.
And sweet little app for homeowners, like to get somebody now. If you missed Elizabeth sharing her story, her AC went out on Easter Sunday and she was able to get her issue fixed in an hour. Like that, it's amazing. And to get 5-star reviews, like that's the biggest complaint that we see in here is that, service, people really have to kind of step up their game. And the technology in this day and age is making people do that. It's weeding the bad from the good.
And we find we've got about, I think, 400 providers in the southern Florida area. That's from West Palm Beach down to the Keys. So we got a very large provider network there. And one of the things we hear frequently is before Homee, a lot of people would place service calls and the person would just not show up.
Yes.
With us, with the quality control we have on the provider network,
if they don't show up, they're out.
They're out.
Right?
Correct.
There's got to be a good reason.
Exactly. And I can tell you, we have, to my knowledge, in thousands of jobs, not had a single no-show just because vetting process when someone comes onto the network.
So how long have you guys been around? How long has Homee been around? And where'd this idea come from? Was it yours?
Of course, mine. Yeah, no, it was mine and Dave. He is my co-founder. I have to plug.
But
Dave.
he does all the techie stuff, right?
He's
still,
a tech. Yeah,
okay.
He's in the background. We don't let him out of the room. But
those guys usually don't want to come out of the room, so it's all good.
He's in darkness right now. We were traveling about 18 months ago on a business trip, and we sat down to dinner on a Monday, and we both had travel. It was a West Coast trip, and both of our wives were calling us, not in a frantic way, but just in a, hey, by the way, the air conditioner is still broken. And for Dave, not as handy as he thinks he is. Apparently, he had a self-created plumbing issue upstairs. He's more of a do-it-yourselfer, but it didn't go well this time. So he had a plumbing issue, and his wife was calling him on this, and we both sat down and we were commiserating about our home improvement issues or lack of service that we were able to get to our homes.
Yes.
And we both decided to begin to explore this on-demand capability for skilled tradesmen and put it into an app.
Wow.
Our prior company was a big software company, enterprise software, so big companies used our software. So we've got a lot of background.
You knew how to do that kind of stuff.
We knew how to do it. So from that point, we really started looking at the industry, looking at the inefficiencies, looking at the pricing, and that was really the development of the application. We launched the app in July of 2016, so it's still very, very new.
Sounds like you guys are off to a fantastic start, though.
We are. We've really been doubling both transactions and revenue every 45 days now. So from a start for an app like this, we've had about 25,000 installs in Florida and Ohio, which is our first out-of-state market.
Nice.
So we haven't really done a whole lot of marketing to get that. It's been word of mouth through realtors, property managers, just homeowners who use it, because it's got a lot of wow factor in it in terms of changing behavior and the current inefficiencies of ordering a plumber or HVAC technician. It is it's that great of a product, and we're really proud about it.
That makes sense. I would be too. So my question is, and we were talking a little bit about the investors, they are trying to maybe manage something from out of state, if they're out of the area, or they're doing whatever they're doing. Is it set up to where you can actually bill to separate accounts? Let's say and I'm sure it bills to a debit card, right? Not directly to the bank or whatever, but can you create different home accounts? So let's say I have a rental property at 123 Main Street. I have another one at 456, Dodge Street. I can actually I can bill an account to that home. So if I'm ordering a provider or a service for that home, I can bill it to that account.
Yeah, I've just pulled up in the app the payment part, and you see here where it says add property code. That's where you could actually have your tenant at one of your investment properties put in a code. So we didn't want to have them you don't want to give them your credit card, but you can give them a code, which will be created if we press this. And then they can actually download the app on their own and order themselves. So if it's a plumbing issue and it's a Saturday and you live in Minnesota and you've got a Clearwater investment home and you don't want to be bothered with it.
So that's a one-time use, or they can order it to that location if they want to.
To that location. And you, as the property owner, you get a notification. You can set notifications anywhere from, $2 to $250, where if the bill went over that amount, you would be notified, and you get a text, and you would have to say continue or stop. So we have a lot of safeguards built in there for investment owners, property owners, if they want to have the tenant themselves order it. If the owner wants to order it themselves on behalf of the tenants, you can load in all of your properties on the map, and you just click on the property. It's like a pin.
Yeah.
Click on the property, and at that point, you can order right to that property automatically with different billing and invoicing. We work with about probably 25 different property managers in the state of Florida right now. So we're very familiar with, they manage 300 different units.
Yes.
How do we bill to each unit? So we do that on a daily basis now.
I mean, that's fantastic because it seems very, very efficient, and that's usually what people want. And if your primary job is to manage property, you don't want to do that.
Correct. And we have here in the app, if you are a property manager, we have actual separate function on the profile page where you can have it's called a manage property section. So you can just click on that setting, and then you can set all of your notifications right in the app for the tenants. So you can fill in the dollar amounts, what I'm showing you here, or the notifications if you want to get it by text or email. So we've really built it, and we built this in conjunction with property managers themselves. Say, what features do you want in it?
What do you need? Yeah.
Correct. And really, next step there is to start plugging in electronically to a lot of the existing systems that sort of catch the tenants' orders.
Right.
Yardi and other programs like that a lot of property managers use, the bigger ones.
Right.
And it'll really be automated. So to have this on-demand function right from the work order, shoot right out to the professional is going to be really game-changing for the industry.
And it's the same kind of thing to where they basically, the whole process, I imagine this whole thing is going to grow. You're going to add some different networking and service providers. You're going to add a lot of vendors all over. I see this truly being, like, look at Uber. I mean, it started out small, ended up nationwide, and now it's literally worldwide. Like, you can go almost anywhere in the world, I think, and get this.
And the difference when we look at Uber...
That'll add another whole layer, right, when you have to build the platform in Chinese?
Yeah, the good news when we look at Uber, the transportation market is $90 billion. The home improvement market that we're tackling is about $450 billion. So it's about 5 times as large as Uber. So we plan to be 5 times as large as.
And I think you will. I really, really do. I really do. And it's just an interesting concept, and it's and that's how great businesses are born. Like, you have an idea, you're looking to fill that gap, and streamline the process, get rid of some inefficiencies, and just make the whole thing better. And that's where you get something like this.
And for us, it also is about for those smaller service providers that may have just gotten their license and are starting out and have no way to market themselves. It's a great way to get business and get jobs right out of the gate with very little marketing fee for them. And there's actually none. So
how does it work from the from the standpoint of the person doing the work? Is it just like you built the platform, you're making the connection, you're vetting the person doing the work and all of that stuff. So I imagine you have to take a fee from that, correct?
Yeah. So we take, so our average, so Uber's, just to go back to transfer, their average ticket's probably $14 to $17 in that range of a job, when you drive to the airport, drive to a restaurant.
Right.
Our average, just because it's a different industry, is north of $400. So it's a different size order based on the complexity of the work. Some of our jobs are $25, some are more, but the average is right around a little over $400. And we take a percentage of that.
Right.
So it's really, we view it as a success fee.
Right.
It's important.
Well, I mean, that's what every business wants is customers. And so if you can make that connection in an efficient way, then you've earned that right.
Correct. And what we do, we really have 2 types of providers on the network. We have those just starting out who may have just gotten their license, who we want to obviously make sure continue to do good work as they grow. And then we have the larger fleets with 20 trucks, 30 trucks, that it's really about capacity utilization. So if they have 30 techs, all 30 techs in general are not working 8-hour days, 5 days a week.
Right.
What we say to that big owner is when one of your workers has a 4-hour time block that he's not working, he or she, have them turn on Homee and get work in that time block so they can earn something for the company rather than just sit in the office or sit in the truck and wait for work. So it's two features. One is about bigger firms maximizing the workforce and really getting everybody working efficiently. And for smaller owners, it's about really being on ironically, our network actually goes up at night and on weekends. So that's when it's bigger and more efficient, because that's when people get off work, join the network, and it's really efficient at night. We found that's when we get a lot of our wow factor for.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting concept too. Like when most businesses are closed, but I mean, any business will work a different shift for the right price.
That's right. And we make sure we set all of our rates, and we for the right professionals with the right skill set, they're going to do fantastic. And that's really important, that we want to make sure we're getting very steady workflow for all of our professionals, so they can hopefully, which many of them have, this is really their full-time gig at this point.
So it's so fascinating. So from the idea where both of the wives were at home stranded with the general idea on how we're going to get this HVAC guy in there in an efficient manner. We're both at a time. How long did it take that whole thing to come to fruition?
With research, it was probably 7 months. From that point, we're very analytical, Dave and I. So we really want to make sure we've studied the industry, know all the pitfalls, know former companies that may have failed, what they did wrong, so we don't repeat those mistakes. But that's a process, so that takes time. Yes. Then when we start hiring development staff, we've got between our full-time development staff and our part-time domestic staff, all our development's done domestically here. We've got a big team now doing new product features in the application.
Yes. I see this something totally that will continue to grow. So if you're just tuning in, we're here with Doug Shadler. He's with Homee, and they are an on-demand service provider, help you get services right to your door. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Stick around. We'll be back for our last segment of the show.
The traffic survey results are in for this year, and Tampa remains in a tie with San Diego and Atlanta for 13th in the U.S. We're down from 84th in the world to 99th. Number 1 in the world is Mexico City. Last year, it was Istanbul. Can you imagine what that traffic must be like? Join Pat George's Traffic Rangers and call him or Mark Charles with traffic problems at 888-404-1010. You can make a difference on Money Talk, 1010 a.m. and on FM at 103.1. Call us, 888-404-1010.
Let's face it, having a criminal arrest record really stinks, and it hurts when others make unfair judgments about you. Employers, landlords, lenders, even the person you may want to date. Take down this number, 813-254-9205. Attorney Jim Souza has sealed and expunged arrest records for more than 20 years. Go to restoremyname.net or call 813-254-9205.
Are you looking for your next home? The truth is that most buyers want a home, not a real estate agent. I understand, but factually, you need an experienced agent on your team like me. I'm Katrina Madewell with Keller Williams Realty, host of Tampa Home Talk, and I've been in the real estate and mortgage industry selling homes for more than 23 years, and it would be our pleasure to help you find your next home. Love where you live, or I'll fix it. Welcome home. 813-936-2302. 813-936-2302.
You must have thrown 1,000 pitches teaching him to hit a home run. Spent countless Saturdays running routes so he could learn to hit an open receiver. Endless afternoons teaching him how to hit the three-pointer. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit? Teaching boys that all violence against women is wrong is one of the most important things a man can do. Learn how to start the conversation at teachearly.org. Brought to you by Futures Without Violence and the Ad Council.
Thanks for joining us on Tampa Bay's business address, Money Talk 1010 and 103.1 FM. There are shows to help you understand finances and everything that affects your ability to earn a living. Join Ray Lucia from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. His intelligent input and charismatic nature add to his ability to make the fiscal world not only easy for the average investor to understand, but fun and interesting as well. With expert guest contributor, local realtor Katrina Madewell's Tampa Home Talk, navigating the many facets of the Tampa Bay real estate market. Katrina says, love where you live, or I'll fix it. Every Saturday morning from 7 to 10, Braden Gunn and Glenn Kinman bring a lifelong passion of hunting, fishing, camping, and airboating to the lively Big and Wild Outdoor Show. Thanks for listening to all of our shows about subjects from real estate to financial planning to relationships in this fast-paced century and more. Tell your friends to join you on Money Talk 1010, 103.1 FM and 99.5 HD2.
Welcome back. You're listening to Tampa Home Talk. I'm your host, Katrina Madewell. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And we had a truly stellar, exciting conversation today with Doug Shadler. He is the CEO and co-founder of Homee. Him and your partner came up with the idea after your wives were kind of looking for HVAC and plumbing technicians.
Our great wives.
Yes, your fantastic wives. And so we were hoping that Andy could bring a little bit of value to the show as well. And it's interesting, and we didn't even know this like before you guys got here, but you are actually a handyman on the Homee network. So what's the experience like from your side, Andy, you know, being someone that's a service provider?
Well, interestingly enough, they told me I'm the first person that was actually got on the app. I have had my own handyman business for 17 years now. I love the service. I don't utilize it as often as I probably should because I stay busy with my own stuff, but it's nice to have something to fall back on during slow times.
So how does something like this vary from some of the other things like Thumbtack and some of those things that you see online? Because their models are totally different.
Well, interestingly enough, like Home Advisor will say, "Oh, well, it's absolutely free to use." Well, it is free to use for the consumer.
For the consumer, yeah.
Yes, the person like me, I would pay like $20 to $40 per lead, and they send it out to 4 other people or 3 other people. So when I get to your front door, I've got to charge you $60 just to make up for what I've lost on the advertising side of it. So I don't pay anything on the Homey side, which is really nice. I can just show up.
Yeah, it is what it is. And you have the option as the contractor also to look at the job, see where it is, and decide if you want to take it.
That's correct. And with Home Advisor, they say, "Oh, they're qualified leads." Well, I play this game online. It gives you little gems for little different things you do. One says, if you want a free air conditioning inspection, you can get all these extra gems. So I clicked on it. I didn't need I don't even have a central air conditioner. I didn't need the thing, but.
So they built a game into the app? Is that what you're saying?
Well, interestingly enough, they're sending these leads to people through an unqualified lead is what I'm getting down to. It's completely unqualified, so that it's not fair to the person who's actually paying for the leads.
Right.
Now, Pro Advisor is a little bit better. And basically, by the way, Home Advisor is a Home Depot. Pro Advisor is Lowe's, and that's they send you an email to my side of it that says, well, this is what the job looks like. Do you want it? And I can choose to pay for it or not. With Home Advisor, I just send them a block of money, and they send me a block of leads, and I have to deal with it that way. Homey is really the way to go for me because they don't charge me to get your lead or not.
Right. Now, and this is probably a question for you, Doug. How far out is that reach? Like if Andy's got the app on and someone's looking for a handyman, but let's say it's dinner time and there's not a whole lot of handyman with their app on at that point, but he's got his app on, will it start with a smaller circle and then go out?
Yeah, we do we call it a spider effect. So from the homeowner, whoever's sending the request, every 10 seconds we will essentially ping the next closest person by mileage from that center point that it's been sent out. So usually that's why it's a bit of and we keep all of those open. So the first person, if they don't accept it, they can still accept it
later,
30 seconds later. But that's why the average is within 1 minute, that order will be picked up by someone because we're hitting a lot of providers based on location. One other point, though, we do have the feature of favorites added in, which will override that. So if you have Andy has been out and he's done a fantastic job and you want to have him back next time, it will override that GPS algorithm and it will go to him first, even though he may be 30 miles away.
Now, does Andy have a certain amount of time to respond to it at that point? Like, what if Andy's on a job that is 30 miles away?
Then he would technically be offline at that point because he would not get the request.
Okay.
So if he's active and online, it will go to him as a favorite, and he will get the first opportunity to accept it before it goes in a more logical way out.
Does
to
it
the
ping
network.
him even if he's not online? Like,
It
hey,
does
one
not.
of your favorites is looking for you.
The system knows. We don't want to bother him when he's doing his good work somewhere else.
Okay. So from the contractor perspective, Andy, it's seamless, right? It's flawless. You like it?
Yeah. If I get the work done and it's a Wednesday, I typically get paid on Friday, so it's great. You know. I like the app. I've
so
used
you
it
don't have
times.
to chase money. You don't have to worry about bad checks. It either goes through or it doesn't.
Right.
And so how does it work on your end? Is it preliminary bill or hold or pre-authorize whatever that estimated job's going to be?
Yeah, we're actually, so we, the credit card is on file for either the homeowner or property manager, realtor. When the job is completed, they have to accept the work. So they have a finish or complete button. I forgot what it's called in the app. They hit that. Then the credit card is automatically billed, and we sweep that into our bank account. We hold it for 24 hours, and then we'll pay Andy really the next day. So within 2 days, I believe, he'll see funds directly in his bank account. There's no check. He doesn't have to go down to the bank. It goes directly in his account. And obviously, we've never not paid anyone who's done good work.
I mean, they obviously know when there's a process, because I know I lost my card last year after our holiday party. I knew right where it was left, but I didn't get it back. So I had to cancel that card and order another one. Well, my Uber account was tied to that same card, and it didn't go through because obviously I had to change my card because I report that one lost. So is it the same thing where they send a pre-authorized debit or whatever in advance?
Yeah, so we hit the card for $1 before the job starts to make sure it's active for the consumer. So we know we've got an active credit card at that point.
So how does it work, though, with you saying that your average job cost is a lot higher? What if that's a debit card they've given you and there's not enough funds in the account? How does that work?
I believe we only have credit cards that you can put in on the homeowner side.
Okay.
There's a debit card that's linked to the bank account on the provider side, which is where we sweep the funds into when the job is completed.
Okay.
But it's credit card, and we do... I would say 1 out of 20 times we'll hit it for that $1, and they'll have to put in a new card to place the order just because they, maybe it expired or there was some issue. But we've got very good checks on that, and I can say in thousands of jobs now, we've never, to my knowledge, not been paid for, properly due to a credit card not clearing.
What's been your biggest challenge in this whole business setup?
Really, we're Tampa based. We've got about 15 people on staff right now, and we're hiring a lot of people.
So you're not growing fast enough? That's your growing pains?
We just finding great talent, both on the provider network side. We're always looking for good new providers. And, I would welcome any service, excellent service technicians. Definitely go to the Apple App Store or Android Play Store. Download the app. It's Homee Professionals. There's actually 2 apps. There's a homeowner app, which is Homee On Demand. Professionals is called Homee Professionals.
And that's for the vendors.
Yep, and there's no charge on either side.
Any promos for our people? I know you give like a referral as a first-time code. Can we do something for Tampa Home Talk?
Of course. Let's do a Reg Now 10, so that would be $10 off your first order.
And it's REGNOW 10?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'd welcome anybody to try it, and I'm sure it'll be a great experience.
Sweet. Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
The pleasure has been all mine.
Hope to have you use Homee soon.
Yes, I will definitely check out Homee. Andy, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on. I just want to say it's a great company to work with.
Awesome. And Elizabeth, thank you for your input, too. We appreciate having you guys. Remember, love where you live, or we're going to fix it. Welcome home.